Awesome. I always knew I was gay. I fucking hate it when people say that. Really? When you were 4, you knew you were gay? I wasn't even completely sure at that age that I had the poop. Sure, fantasizing about a He-Man Superman crossover show seems super gay in retrospect, but in the moment, I think we can all agree that would have been so cool. I, for one, had absolutely zero clue I was gay until I hit puberty. And this was a problem because I hit puberty late. Like, very late. Like, so late that I was physically incapable of ejaculating until I was a sophomore in college. Take that in for a second. My troubles began in 6th grade. That's when the other boys started getting pubes and liking girls. And then things for me got awkward. See, I wouldn't have my first pubic hair until my junior year of high school. And as for liking girls, that just wasn't in the cards. Still, like any 6th grade boy, I just wanted to be normal. So I did what I thought any normal 6th grade boy in my situation would do. I began rummaging through my older brother's bathroom wastebasket and collecting his discarded pubic clippings. And then, when I created a sufficient stash, I'd Elmer's glue wads of his pubic hair to my crotch. I did this on a bi-weekly basis. You know, to be normal. I lived in constant fear that somebody was going to ask to see my pubes. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but I needed to be ready. Now maybe I was being paranoid. Or maybe, let's cut to my friend Henry's 6th grade birthday party sleepover where my nightmare scenario actually happened. Yes, flashlight pube comparison. Like an unintentional boner in math class, the idea sprung up out of nowhere. But all the other boys seemed to agree that it was the best idea ever. One by one, each boy got up, pulled down his boxers, and shined the light on the black or brown wiry hairs that were proof positive of his manhood. Finally, the torch passed to me. And although I was not a Boy Scout, holy shit, I was motherfucking prepared. I shined the light on my sparse, craggly, homemade man-merkin at just the right angle to make it look respectable. My insides beamed with pride, knowing that I was maintaining my status in the existing social order. By the false hair of my crotch, I was avoiding social disaster. In that moment, all was right in the world. This turned out to be, this experience became a defining moment in my adolescence. It taught me that in the quest to avoid embarrassment, deception worked. From then on, I became really, really comfortable lying in social situations. This turned out to be really helpful when I started experiencing same-sex attractions during my senior year of high school. By then I was 17 and had an unusually heterosexual reputation. See, I was obsessed with fitting in, which in my school at least meant hooking up with girls. The problem was, I also had this tiny prepubescent baby dick, and I needed to figure ways around it. So when I would hook up with girls, before they could touch my penis, I would just go down on them. As a result, I became really good at licking pussy. And since I was an insecure 17-year-old, I spread the word. By the time I was a senior, my cunnilingus was legendary among the JV girls cheerleading squad. 6 of them. I got 6. My point is, all this made my new gay feelings really inconvenient. So I ignored them. Eventually, I made the conscious decision to just shut off my sexuality altogether. I just felt like I'd established this very workable mainstream identity, and I didn't need a bunch of alternative sexual desires mucking things up. This line of thinking continued until the summer after my sophomore year at NYU, which, if you remember, is also when I finally became able to ejaculate. That summer I moved out to LA to work as a PA on CSI New York. But really, I wanted to do what everybody comes to LA to do. Be an actor. I was 19 years old, sexually repressed, emotionally stunted, and exceedingly naive. Yes, I was ready to make it big in Hollywood. I got right to work making my dream a reality. In between taking lunch orders for producers and getting coffee for Gary Sinise, I'd spend every free moment submitting myself on LA Casting to get auditions. Eventually, I was cast in a play. The play, though stupid, turned out to be my big break. After a performance one night, I got a call from a casting director asking to meet me for a general. I didn't really know what that was, but I didn't care. It was a casting director. Casting directors, I was told, were like mythic gods. If you make them like you, all of your dreams would come true. At 8 p.m. in West Hollywood, we would meet for coffee. I would bring my headshot, that headshot. All of this is happening to that child right now. I would bring my headshot, resume, sparkling personality, and bright shining smile. Stardom was just a razzle-dazzle away. On the day of the meeting, the casting director, let's call him Todd, his name isn't really Todd, started texting me. At first they were pretty benign. Are you excited for the meeting tonight? Hells yeah, I am. Then the text started getting a little more questionable. Wear something tight to the meeting, man. I want to see your body. Oh right, for casting. When I got to the Starbucks, Todd spotted me first. Oh, great to meet you, man. Let's hug it out. He was being so nice. We began talking and immediately hit it off. We were both Jewish, we both lived in New York, we both wrestled in high school. I mean, really, it was like we knew each other for forever. Around 9:30, as the meeting began winding down, Todd made me an offer I couldn't refuse. He invited me over to his apartment to watch a pilot he just cast. We'd only just met. This meeting was going great. Todd's apartment had a fully stocked bar. He asked if I wanted a drink. I was 2 years under drinking age, so I said yes. And Todd proceeded to make me the strongest fucking screwdriver I have ever had in my entire life. We sat on the couch and watched the pilot. The vodka set in and I became pretty buzzed. When the show ended, Todd turned and looked at me intently. You're really cute, you know that? Quick side note. Up till now, I'd had zero sexual contact with guys. I'd never even kissed another man on the lips before. I was so deep in denial that I didn't even have gay fantasies. I watched lesbian porn because penises made me uncomfortable. And yes, I had a disproportionate interest in men's gymnastics, but they're the most fit athletes on the planet. I think they deserve some respect. I suddenly became very nervous. Thanks. So I've been told, I said. Todd turned back to the computer screen and put his hand on my knee. And then something crazy happened. I instantly got hard. Thankfully, the angle of my penis in my jeans was such that my erection was mostly concealed. For now. Do you have a girlfriend, he asked. Not since high school, I replied, which is a ridiculous thing to say. I still didn't know where this was going. I was nervous, scared, and above all, really, really horny. Finally, Todd looked at me again. Dude, you are really fucking cute. He leaned over, and we kissed. I instantly ejaculated. Now, you have to realize, I'd only ever come like 2 other times in my entire life, and that's if you're counting nocturnal emissions. This was insane to me. What was going on? For those of you who hadn't guessed it, this was the moment that I knew I was gay. And although it was sudden, that's exactly what I saw. I'd not once even contemplated that maybe I might be gay. I was never so sure of anything in my life. I was being physically intimate with another human being without it feeling forced or awkward. Me! I didn't even think that was possible. From there, my body relaxed and instinct took over. We started making out. Slowly, we progressed to full horizontal dry hump. Here I was, a gullible young actor hooking up with a casting director twice my age in his shady West Hollywood fuck pad, skanking my way into the oldest, most shameful Hollywood cliche imaginable, and nothing ever felt so right. I broke away from kissing, moved down to his crotch, undid his belt, and released his giant penis from the prison of his pants. And I really can't stress this enough, his penis was huge. And unfortunately, really unattractive. First off, it was pear-shaped. Super thick at the base, and then like an isosceles triangle, it narrowed to a sharp point. gets worse. It gets worse. It was crooked. His penis was crooked. About halfway up the shaft, his penis made a hard right turn at about a 90-degree angle. Still, I had come this far. There was no turning back. I opened my mouth and made my first attempt at giving head ever. It was awful. I mean, I didn't think it'd be good, but fuck. The angle of his dick was not conforming to my esophagus, and his aggressive pelvis was gagging the shit out of me. But I soldiered on, sucking his giant misshapen penis until my throat was fucked raw. Finally, after what felt like hours, he said, "Let's move this to the bedroom." I was pretty sure this was code for "let's have butt sex." But it was okay. I was committed to seeing this sexual liaison to its logical conclusion. Gay men had butt sex. I was gay. I would have butt sex too. And so it came to pass. But first, like a gentleman, he ate out my asshole. Todd's, that's what you do, okay? Don't judge. Todd's tongue was a ninja. Before I knew what was going on, my ass was primed for pounding. He put on a condom, lubed up, told me to arch my back, and proceeded to fuck the living shit out of me. And so ensued a gay sodomy montage. Who knew there were so many ways for dicks to fit into assholes? I just kept saying, fuck me more, let's try a new position. I was determined to pack an entire lifetime of gay sexual experiences into this one encounter. He fucked me, I kid you not, for the next 3 hours, stopping only once to do a couple lines of coke and put on a cock ring to keep hard. Very classy. Then, at the end of our marathon sexcapades, he promptly fell asleep. What a prince. I let myself out and made my way home, euphoric and floating on a cloud. The next day, I literally couldn't sit down. The pain was terrible, but I didn't care. I thought I was broken. It was actually really scary. But I didn't care. It was as if this giant weight had been lifted, and I felt truly comfortable in my own skin. And suddenly, for the first time in my life, being normal didn't matter, because I was being honest. And really, it all came down to honesty. Hooking up with girls was always a form of deception. I did it for social status points, or because I thought it was expected of me, or because I wanted people to like me, or I was supposed to. This was the first time in my life that I was sexual with another person just because I wanted to. And it seems so obvious now, but it really never dawned on me that sex could be that simple. From that moment on, honesty was my policy. So the very next day, I called up my dad, who, by the way, is a rabbi. I hope everyone had a lovely Yom Kippur yesterday. Last night I had sex with a guy, I said. This really happened. I'm pretty sure I'm gay. The phone went silent. And thus I learned another valuable lesson. Honesty is great, but like butt sex, it's best in moderation. Thank you.